30 to 40% of women spend like a third of their life in menopause. Did you know that? I'm Shelley Carter, owner and founder of Alder Healing Center in Villa Park, Illinois, and I am a champion for wellness and human rights. I am here with Karen and Mary today. And ladies, if you can introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Mary Severson, owner at Root Cause Wellness. I am an activation specialist. I am a PMF and red light practitioner, and I'm a nutritional microscopist that evaluates cellular health.
Awesome. Karen?
Hi, I'm Karen Olson. I'm a realtor and a LifeVantage consultant.
Okay, awesome. Well, ladies, thank you for coming to the show today. Our topic of conversation, of course, is menopause. Has anybody heard of that? So, yes, the studies show that 30 to 40% of our life is spent in either premenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. And we all have a unique story to share. And you guys might see yourselves in this as we share. So, Mary, I'd like you to start us off.
Okay. Yeah, menopause for me was kind of non-existent, and that being because of a diagnosis I got 12 years ago. I started my activation journey back then for something else, and so it just became a benefit for me that as people ask me, how you doing with this perimenopause, how you doing with menopause, and I just wasn't having all of the things that they were talking about. So that was a huge just blessing for me because there's quite a family history and for us with women in our family. So yeah.
Yeah. So how far back in your family history does that actually go?
Well, I just know about my mom and my aunts and my grandmother and the things that they had.
Mhm.
And so a lot of endometriosis, an aunt who is unable to have children, a sister who struggled with endometriosis as well.
Mhm.
And all of the women, aunts and mother, and having early hysterectomies and stuff to deal with what they had going on. And then all the hormone replacement that came with that and all of the struggles that they had with just everything. Just none of that presented itself for me. And I'm 57 years old, so something should have happened by now, right?
We would think so. Karen.
Um, I had a very different experience than you did, Mary. Um, for me, perimenopause, I went into probably in my early 40s, like I'd say right around when I was like 41, 42. I just turned 54, but menopause has definitely been rough on me from I don't have the night sweats, but I go from being freezing cold to I'll feel like I'm going to spontaneously combust. Um, the depression, the anxiety is real, the just wanting to isolate, the weight gain, the not feeling like doing anything, the insomnia, brain fog. Um, for me, like heart palpitations that had put me gone to the hospital in the middle of the night thinking I was having a heart attack for them to run a whole bunch of tests and say, no, everything looks good. Um, the food cravings, um, I said weight gain, right? So, and all of that extreme exhaustion, all of that has really affected my quality of life over the last year, maybe a little bit longer, as well as my business. Because I just really it was a lot just to not sleep all night and then try and get out of bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but in the last 6 months, that has changed tremendously.
And we're going to come back to talk about why, aren't we?
Yes.
We are.
So, for those of you that don't know, and maybe it's your first time hearing my story, back in 1985, I had a full hysterectomy. They left my left ovary, hoping it would produce some type of hormone, but it was like wasn't doing anything. I struggled with severe periods and cramps, and ever since I started, it has been horrible. In fact, um, with hindsight, it's like, why did they do that? Because my periods were so heavy and the blood clots were so large. My doctor put me on birth control pills. And so I was on birth control pills from a very young age. And those who have been on any kind of birth control, they'll knows that it affects your moods, your giddy up and go, and a host of things we're not going to get into today. And so, and even with that, I was very A-type personality. It's like you go in my closet and all my shirts were all the same length, color coded and everything. After the hysterectomy, I got up in the morning and I'd stand there and cry for 3 hours. I couldn't pick a thing to wear. I'd go to work and I did phone work and I'd sit and look at the phone and start crying. And then my boss called me in his office. He's like, Shell, I think you're going through the change. And, I was like, I think 27. So I didn't know anything about that. And when I went to see the doctor, he actually booked my doctor's appointment. They don't tell you about what that really means when you go through the change or you're going through menopause. And then their view of how to fix it doesn't really help. So I've never really felt quite right, never felt myself again. So, and then we're going to fast forward into talking about where things are at today. So, Mary, what were the products you worked with that you believe? And before we do that, I'm going to backtrack and say, if you haven't been to pubmed.com, is it .com? .gov, pubmed.gov.
Gov.
There's a lot of information on oxidative stress. Now, most people wouldn't think, what does oxidative stress have to do with anything? But there's over 550 articles that talk about oxidative stress in menopause. So I encourage you guys to go look it up. It's pubmed.gov. And so, Mary,
So the products I was already on for a different diagnosis that I had was when I got started with the company like 12 years ago, all we had was this Protandim Nerf 2 and some skincare line. So
mhm.
for quite a few years, this is all that I took. And so that is the one that deals with the oxidative stress, reducing it by 40% in 30 days and up to 70% if you take it cumulatively, which greatly reduces inflammation, turns on your body's ability to make the antioxidants. So it was this one for a long, long time. And yeah. and then and then Axio came out, the drink came out, and started drinking that for the neurotransmitters and the brain health. But the next one that I added was this NERF1 mitochondrial dysfunction. So that's another thing in PubMed.gov to do. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cells. And so increasing the mitochondria and looking in PubMed.gov when it comes to menopause and mitochondrial dysfunction is huge as well. And being one of the only companies that are able to do that.
I'm
So,
glad, with all the nutritional companies I've worked with over my years of working with health and wellness, um, nutrition and vitamins, you won't see them in PubMed.gov. But what I was impressed with is almost all the products you can find, and just the results that people get from the products are beyond amazing. So I like that it's backed not only by science, but it's also backed by research, like real research. So, Karen, oh, was it?
Um,
No, go ahead.
yeah, so I've been on the products consistently. I had taken them
For
like two
how?
years ago, Mary?
Oh,
3 years
yeah.
ago, but I didn't continue with them, unfortunately. I think my experience would have been very different the last few years had I. But I got back on the products back in November. I've been on them for about 6 months, and the difference is night and day for me. Like I still have an occasional sleepless night, but like sleeping through the night, having energy, wanting to be sociable. Um, like it's been life changing. I also was taking one of their newer products to help increase my body to produce its own GLP-1.
So can we just
And
take one, or do we have to take them both? Or did you take them both, or did you just take the one?
it's a system. No, it's a system. You take them both. I had thrown out my MB Core bottle, so all I had left was this one. Um, but so that's been huge in helping quiet the cravings and food noise, and uh, really just um, helping me get rid of the fat that's accumulated around my midsection. Because I mean, realistically, in the last year before taking these products, I've probably gained 25 pounds. And I didn't change anything else I was doing. Like, it's just like, it's crazy how menopause affects weight gain, or at least it was for me. Um, so yeah, it's made a huge difference. And also too, like you said, Shelley, when I was younger, like my periods would be really heavy. I'd have clots, and like my daughters are the same way. Like they get physically sick and they've been to the doctor and oh, that's just the way it is, or they don't know how to help them. So I started them on the Protandim Nerf too, so they don't have the same experience I did, with them being in their mid and early 20s. Like things can be radically different for them the next, you know, 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they're on them. So I don't know if any of you ladies, women, are have dealt with any of these kind of symptoms or have children that are going through things. If you do, please give us a call at 630-328-3928. We'd be happy to speak with you and see what you're dealing with and make some suggestions and if need be, connect you to some doctors that can take it to another level for you. We'd love to help you out. So, well, I had a thought, but we're going to go to screen share here and bear with me because I'm still learning how all of this works. Let's see. She's going to go into present mode. Can I do that from here?
Following is an ABC primetime investigative report that
Give this 1 second.
No.
It's not going to do what we want. Good thing I can edit.
following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005. You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig. Okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver. This is a pretty exciting stuff you find. It is. We're very excited about it. Its latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And as decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. Bad for the body, leading to disease, and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process. It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes. Have you discovered the fountain of youth? I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can. Following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired, leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process. It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes. Have you discovered the fountain of youth? I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. Taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my result. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. 45%, that's excellent. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after, which if extrapolated back is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Wow.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Wow. Like, who doesn't want that? What do you have to say?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And looking at the cellular health under the microscope, we've been able to show people that what we say we do. You know, my mother-in-law is going to be 85 years old, and her cellular health is like that of a 20-year-old or younger. So when it says that every single time, how did your body work when it was 20 years old or younger? A whole lot better than maybe it does as we're going through this aging process. So if we can make your cells healthier like when you were younger, we just function better. That's so awesome.
I know for myself, I've been taking the Protandim and I've been taking the 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 Axio.
Yep.
Here it
I've
is,
been
the
taking.
Axio, and it comes in sticks like that. And I just mix them up, and they tear easy, they open easy. So if you're dealing with a little bit of arthritis, don't worry. You can either use scissors or it tears super easy. Mixes in water really, really well. And the best thing, we were at an event this weekend. Everyone said, "Oh my God, this stuff actually tastes good." And a lot of times there's a lot of products out there, and I see with my clients, people being compliant. A lot of times they're not because it doesn't taste good. But if something tastes good, people are more than likely going to be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I can do this." And so my own part of my, I have lots of stories. I've been taking the Axio and the Protandem for, it's been about 2.5 months
Two.
now. And I've been dealing with a lot of different physical issues this past 3 years, probably 4 years now. And it's the first time I feel like I'm not dragging myself 10 feet behind me, kind of like the Sisyphus pushing up the boulder up the hill. I want to get up in the morning. I'm getting up between 7 and 7:30, ready to start my day, although I may lay in bed for a little bit just to think about how I want my day to go and pre-plan. And one of the cool things is I haven't had energy to do much of anything. And I used to love to juice. I have a Nama J2 juicer. And this past week, I've actually been getting up early, making my juices, feeling so much better, even making batch juices for my roommate too. So it's been so much fun to feel like I'm back in the game of life. And she even notices the difference. So, what about you guys? What are you noticing by taking the products?
The energy of the sleep, the just being able to show up in life and do all of the
Yeah.
things, the being the age that I am and wanting to be so physically active. Yeah, it's different than on my peers who are not activated. And we want to also say that we do not cure, treat, mitigate disease.
Yeah.
We turn on systems in the body so that your body is functioning and working the way that God designed it to. They're little faucets that keep getting turned off as part of the aging and disease processes. And
Mhm.
so through activation, we're slowly turning your faucets back on. So that you're working the way optimally the way that you're supposed to. So
Yeah, it's fun to see before taking the products. Well, we did my second live blood cell analysis on Saturday, and my before one, I had no white blood cells. I just had a steroid injection in my back. And then just to see, and my cells, your cells are supposed to show round when it's on the microscope. Well, they were all breaking apart, and they were all globbed together. What was cool is you could see my white blood cells, no parasites. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Mine look like the one that
oh,
says
that's I guess.
all the way over to my right, which would probably be you're right too. So
Yeah.
and they were stuck on each other. They were super sticky. And and so it was fun to see my cells were round. They weren't sticking each other. They might be side to side. You can see them moving. So cool to see the difference taking the Protandem and the Axio. And the Axio I love to take, especially if because I like to read and study a lot. So I've been taking my Axio prior to that. And maybe next time when we talk about this, we'll have the brain mapping scan that will show so we can actually show in real time the writing difference in kids with diagnoses of ADD, ADHD, and even autism. And Karen, you have some stories too.
Oh, well, also one of the things, didn't you see a difference when you went to the doctor's office, Shelley,
Which difference are you talking about?
in your BP,
Oh, my blood
your
pressure
blood pressure?
went from, I think it was 189 to over 96, was down to 127 over 66. And that was in less than 2 months. I was so excited because I was like, I don't want to go on blood pressure medication. So let me see if these products really do work. And so I was praying because I've tried a lot of things and nothing's worked. Wasn't until I started taking the NFR2 that I noticed all these huge bodily changes. And my blood pressure coming down is just one of the things that I noticed. And it's continued to, like, I feel, um, I'll just say I'm not getting the palpitations I was getting before that I didn't want to share with my doctor. I didn't want to go on medication. I don't know if any of you guys are like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just another huge win.
Yeah. And one of the things I forgot to mention earlier was one of the major symptoms that I was having of menopause was
Mhm.
joint pain. Like
Mm.
my whole body just hurt. That's completely gone for me.
And which of the
Um,
products that you were taking?
uh, the Protandim Nerf 2.
Hmm.
I do take the Axio as well.
Hmm.
And then the MB Core with the MB Enhance. Um, so yeah, it's been huge. Like I can focus now. I'm sleeping. I feel like being social and going out and doing things. The heart palpitations that I was having, um, they're gone. I'm not having them anymore. Like I feel like getting out and exercising and um, the not the brain fog, and as you said, I think earlier, where you you go to say something and your brain's having problems like figuring out the word you want to say, like you know it's there, you just can't grasp it. Like
Hmm.
that has been a minimum. It'll still happen occasionally, but nothing like before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mary.
So like we've had conversations as ladies in a room about being empowered to take back your power, take back control over you and your health. Don't sit in a doctor's office and listen to a doctor saying, oh, arthritis. That's just the way it is. That's how it is as you get older. Oh, these menopause symptoms and these things that are happening to you. That's just the way it is. Let that not be true for you. Like we're not letting it be true for us. And do your research. Use that pubmed.gov and take
Yes.
oxidative stress against any issues you might be having and see the power and what that would do in your body if you could greatly reduce your oxidative stress levels. Um,
And
so,
even me as a healthcare practitioner, oxidative stress is not talked about at all,
Mm-mm.
hardly at all, maybe
Mhm.
just a little bit. And even in the natural world of medicine, it's supplements or it's vitamins, not so much anything called an activator. And when I first heard about Life Vantage and activators, it's like, what? What the heck is that? And so when you're activating something and you're turning it on and your cells are doing what it's supposed to do, it's like, wow, my body's really supposed to work like this? Anything you guys
Yep.
want to say?
yeah, it's just so powerful. And people, when you're sitting in front of people, they're going to tell you what they understand and they're going to tell you about the solutions that they have. And so many times it's going to come through pharmaceuticals and it's going to come through supplementation. And so what you need to wrap your mind around and understand is activation is something completely different, and we stand alone and being able to activate your nerve 2 pathway, your healing pathway, to do what it's supposed to do. And so when we're talking about oxidative stress, it's because we have a solution for the problem.
Mhm.
And when you're with other people, they're not going to talk to you about oxidative stress or your mitochondrial dysfunction or your GLP-1 hormone being activated naturally. They're not going to talk to you about things that they don't have solutions for. So it's just being able to have those conversations and
Yeah.
educate people. I love the education piece mostly about what we do over anything so people can make informed decisions
Mhm.
for themselves.
So if you'd like to learn how to make better choices, more informed decisions about yourself, do check out pubmed.gov. Also, you can reach out to us at 630-328-3928. That's 630-328-3928. We'd be more than happy to walk you through any questions you have, any health concerns you have, any even emotional concerns that you might have, because they have products that help with just about everything from body care to mind care to emotions and even, when you think about it, part of it is what you put in your mouth that makes a difference in how your body's going to function. But even if we ate as perfectly as possible, one apple today does not equal the apple our forefathers had. So you would probably need 9 to 12 apples to equal the nutrient value of an apple 3 generations ago. And so our body is already missing nutrients, vital nutrients that is needed. So all three of us are very well educated in health and wellness. We have doctors on our teams that can take the conversation to a whole nother level if it's beyond what we can help you with. So please give us a call at 630-328-3928. That's 630-328-3928. And you will be glad that you did. Carrie and Mary, Carrie. Wow, I saw someone in the background. Karen and Mary. Is there anything else you would like to share before we sign off?
Karen. Well, thank you everybody for listening and taking this time. And please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us and let us answer your questions and let us help you.
Yeah, really take the time to find out about this because it's like nothing else out there, and it will make a huge difference in your life.
Yeah. So with that, folks, thank you for listening in. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions, drop it down in the chat. Please subscribe and like, and we'd love to hear from you. If there's a topic that you would like to hear about, please let us know. We'll continue to work on the menopause, and because there's a vast array of information and ways that it impacts our lives that are beyond what time we have today. So we're going to do a series of these. And we all love you. Mwah! And we will see you soon.